Hello, everyone. Thanks for waiting patiently. Just 2 more minutes and we will start with this webinar. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. So we are starting a webinar now. We have the speaker with us. We have Annamalai with us, who is a product engineer.
So, hello all, thank you for joining. We'll be starting with the session. So, as the title says, it is predict, prevent, and perform. So, throughout the session, we'll be talking about all these three things, and basically, we'll see how to make your traditional IT ops into much more intelligent using AI. So, before we start about AI ops or what AI ops is, what can be done, or how it works, let's just understand the current landscape of the IT ops. So in current reality with respect to ITOps, there are a lot of changes with respect to the technology or with respect to how these infrastructures are managed. There are a lot of complexities involved. Like every platform is now distributed. There are so many tools for monitoring so many things individually, and the traditional monitoring is not keeping up with the amount of complexity the ITOps is creating currently. So, like this might end up as a pressure for your IT admins, and even as a decision makers, you might end up with either buying a lot of tools, or you will find it difficult to have a unified platform where you can see all these things. So with these things coming into picture, the current pain points of these current IT ops solutions or the recent landscape of these IT ops is the high volume of alerts we see. So it's like you as an IT admin or as a decision maker wouldn't want to end up solving so many alerts which are either false positive or which aren't not really critical things. In that case, instead of relying on a very static or a traditional way of finding these things, you would need some kind of an intelligence to handle these things. Let it be lack of correlated data. Like you would have there would have been an ex, there would have been a relationship between the current monitoring and the resources that you do, and these traditional tools wouldn't have been able to capture these correlations. And coming to the major points, lack of predictions. So with the increasing complexity and with increasing the technology is being evolving, we can't take chances. We need a tool that can actually predict and that can give you a much information before the event actually happens. So in such case, the AIOps comes into picture with ITOps. So AIOps is not like a very new tool or which is like a entirely a different thing. It can be like an enhancement to a current ITOps. And adapting to AIOps is not much thing that it's not a thing of very hard or something. You can easily adapt it with once you understand what AIOps can do with your current ITOps. So why would an organization need an AIOps? So first thing, they have to be more predictive than reactive. So what we meant by reactive is you can't wait an issue to happen to resolve it. You would have expected your team to be more predictive, more anticipating issues and solving them before they actually come into picture, and kind of it'll reduce the quality of the service as well. So in such cases, AIOps plays a major role in helping you overcome such situations where you will be ending up, having issues with the SLA, or you have to compromise with the quality of your services. In such cases, it is better to be predictive than reactive. And next, it will be more operational noises with the traditional ITOps. So as we are discussing about the volume of alerts that we have been doing with ITOps, it might seem overwhelming for your technicians or even engineers who are working on solving these alerts. In such cases, you would require a smart system that is able to, filter out these noises and give you a really, what are all the critical events that are expected to be resolved by your engineers to reduce the load, as well as there are a lot of times you might end up with the false positive events which doesn't need actually any resolution. In such cases, a platform like an AIOps can help you overcome these kind of situations. And coming to the next one, so our AIOps solution takes data from multiple sources like network data, application data, and lot of traces, server infrastructures, cloud services. So our AIOps platform take data from all these things, will give you meaningful insights, will give you more analysis data, and it will reduce lot of noises, and it can detect even anomalies from this. So we'll be talking about all these things, how we do it, what our platform is capable of, and all these things in the upcoming slides. So basically, as I was telling, implementing AIOps over and traditional ITOps is not much of a big deal, because even our current platform has now being evolved into keeping AIOps at its core. As you see, we have a lot of other services that are being provided as part of Infront, like IT, infrastructure management, or service management, even asset management. Like moving on, we'll be having AIOps at core of all these things. So it will be easy for you as a customer to even adapt to such AIOps features. So it won't be so much from your side, which will be automatically handled within the platform itself. So coming to the key features. So now that we talked about the issues regarding IT ops and talking about the features that AIOps can provide, let's talk about the industry and why AIOps would be needed in different scenarios. If you take IT ops is basically used in different business verticals. We can take BFSI, we can take healthcare, we can take telco, and we can take MSPs and ISPs. So these are all the business, or these are all the industries where IT ops is majorly used, and these each industry has different requirements and they actually suffer from different issues. For example, if you take BFSI have a lot of complaints to take care. They are supposed to be more secure, more fault tolerant, and they should be much anticipating critical issues, and they are supposed to be handling all these things. When it comes to MSPs or ISPs, SLAs matters most to them, and the amount of bandwidth, the amount of utilization, the amount of customer they will be handling is so much. They're supposed to be more anticipating with their resource utilization and things like that. So when you take a different industries, the requirement differs. So does the way we handle these requirements also differs. Now, let's take AIOps as a common platform. First thing that we will always be talking about is more noise and events and more alerts and engineering being put into more of these. Why there is more alerts? How come these alerts are getting triggered more? So when it comes to alerts or events, the most of things that comes into picture is how you configure your thresholds. So if you are a network admin, if you are someone who knows these IT ops tools, you will be knowing all about these thresholds and how they are being configured. So let's take me as a network admin. If I was using a traditional IT ops tool, I would be required to set these thresholds manually by myself. And these thresholds are not common to any device. For example, a switch which I'm configuring need not to have the same threshold as a router that I'm being configuring, because the amount of load and the amount of traffic that they will be handling is so different. So I will end up configuring like manually all these thresholds myself for different devices, maybe for different branches, even different. There are a lot of ways that I'm doing this repetitively again and again based on the devices. In such cases, it might feel overwhelming for a network admin to configure all these thresholds all by himself. Uh, Even for a traditional ITOps thing, it would be like more of a manual work. Then comes these adaptive thresholds. As the name depicts, these are very adaptive. What do we mean by adaptive here? How it is getting adapted? So basically in AIOps, we will do is we'll study the past data, we'll predict a pattern of how this is being utilized, and we'll be plotting it in the future timescale. For example, you have been using your system for a certain pattern for the last 3 months, and we'll be predicting it for the next month, like how it is going to be used. So in such cases, these adaptive thresholds will come into picture there. Okay, the coming to the adaptive part, how it is going to get adapted. So based on the predicted pattern, we will be plotting these thresholds. So it will be happening based on the predicted pattern, unlike the static thresholds where a network admin will be manually configuring them for each devices. So let's take network utilization. So this network utilization can vary based on different scenarios. In such cases, we can't expect them to configure it manually. So what adaptive threshold does? It studies the pattern of each devices, and it can manually, it can automatically adapt to the pattern and can, move the threshold up or move the threshold down based on the pattern it studied. So it's like a more of a learned threshold than a statically configured threshold. And this is a smartness this threshold has, and it reduces a lot of the manual effort that is being put into, studying the pattern, putting up the thresholds. Because majorly these noise are created by either no not so properly configured thresholds, or it will be and more like not actively studied. So in such cases, adaptive threshold can help you reduce a lot of noises in such cases, and it can help you predict the future events as well, since it will be studying the pattern and it will be for predicting it the future time scales. And talking of adaptive thresholds, and there is one more concept called as anomalies and predictions, which we'll be talking in the later. So what are anomalies? So like it's a very common term, right? Anomaly is some kind of unexpected behavior of something that it's happening. So we'll be expecting our network, our infrastructure to work in some way, and there is a sudden behavior of the network that is not so predictable, and it is happening in your network. So those are called as anomalies. So adaptive threshold is majorly used in detecting those anomalies. So a better example can be, we can take an example of an branch. So let's take Infron as a IT operations company has a branch in different places. And let's take all of our employees will be logging in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be logging it out 7 o'clock in the night. So imagine this is how the traffic goes throughout the weekdays, and all of a sudden I'm seeing a sudden peak of my network utilization at 12 o'clock in the night. Even with the studied pattern, a 12 o'clock spike is not something that is very expected out of my network, nor it is being predicted by my system. In such cases, it is an anomaly. So like something, someone would have been doing something at that time which would have caused this anomaly to happen, and my system is able to capture this all thanks to my adaptive threshold, because it studied my pattern. It knows how my network will be behaving for the time scale given, like even for the whole day, and it has detected something that is very unusually happening that is not part of the pattern that I studied. So these kind of adaptive thresholds will be mainly used to detect these kind of anomaly events majorly, which is like more of a concerning issue than a random event, because anomalies are not like something that you can take very light of, because companies or in sectors like BFSI or even government sector companies, these kind of things would be majorly of kind of a security breach, or somebody would have entered the network unauthorized, or something would have been malfunctioning, which would have made these spikes in their networks. So that is where adaptive threshold is being mostly used. And then adaptive threshold is also used in, you know, reducing this effort with the network engineers and network admins who are configuring the thresholds. So coming to the next feature is prediction. So prediction is like, as the term tells, like it's like a prediction of the events. But what does it? How does it mean? What are we predicting even? So we are already an ITOps platform. We have an ITOps platform in front NMS which actually monitors your network. So what we will do, we're gonna be studying your network patterns, and we will be predicting it for the future time scales. So let's take we will be taking your past monitoring data, and we'll be using our AI engine to run through this data. We'll learn the pattern, we'll learn the data, we'll learn how your network performs, and we will be plotting it for the future time scales. So the graph that you see in the screen is something very similar to it. Like it's a network utilization of an interface. So these blue color lines are like the monitoring data that we receive from our normal ITOps or NMS system, and these light gray areas are the predicted data. As you see, it is not something like a very thin line or something. It's depicted as a band, because in prediction we are having like upper band and lower band. So those are like the maximum range it can go, or the minimum value that it can go. So your anomaly events are something that are like configured based on the threshold based on this predicted data. Now going back to the adaptive threshold screen, like you could see there are certain fields here. Can you go zoom into the screen? So like we have our basic thresholds as well, and we have our adaptive thresholds here. So you'll be configuring your thresholds here. For example, let's take my these are based on the predicted patterns, not on the actual poll data or something. These are based on the predicted patterns. So we will be telling a event is termed to be an anomaly event when it passes n percentage of the predicted. Like for example, my system is predicting that duration to go like 60 percentage throughout the weekdays, and if there's a spike for an 80 percentage, then it will be termed as an anomaly. So that is how we'll be monitoring these anomaly events in our application, and that's how adaptive threshold comes into picture and plays a major role in finding these anomalies. So coming back to the anomaly events. So as you see, there is this prediction graph being plotted here, and if you could see, there is a red dot on top of it, and that's one of the anomaly event our system is able to capture. So that is where these adaptive thresholds and predictions or anomaly events comes into picture. Now moving on, we have this predicted events as well. So as we are telling about anomaly events is more of like a current poll, like or the present data. So whenever an anomaly happens, you'll be able to see an anomaly. But we do predict events beforehand. So these predicted events comes into picture when you are planning for a predictive maintenance. So for example, let's take you are an ISP provider, you are an internet service provider, and you are providing certain bandwidth to an organization. Now, when you study your usage pattern and you are predicting that your utilization might go on a peak after 4 or 5 months, then you are supposed to act on it, right? So you need to plan your capacity to be increased. You need to plan your no, you need to plan your maintenance. You need to plan how we can solve these things. So in such cases, these predicted events will come help you a lot in these things. It will tell you when your utilization is gonna hit the bar, and it so that you can plan your maintenances, so that you can plan your capacity planning. So it can help you in all these things based on your pattern of utilization. So it can even detect events before happening, and it can, it's like more of an anticipating for a issue rather than waiting for the issue to happen in your system. And coming to the next feature is forecasting. So we talked about prediction, we talked about anomalies and prediction events, and here comes something much similar, but it is for a different use case called forecasting. So forecasting is nothing but it's like more like forecasting your usage pattern for a future time scale. So as we're talking about different business verticals and how they will be using a system and what are their expectations, and we might have a scenario where your organization or a industry is required to plan their capacity. So for example, you can take an enterprise which is giving an IT service, can have certain IT infrastructure with a different like 4 to 5 servers in a data center, and they'll be having a certain capacity. Now imagine a scenario where they are getting more and more customers and their utilization is going high and high, and there will be a certain point that they'll be running out of resources to manage all these systems. In such cases, they should plan their capacity and they should upscale. So in such cases, you can't wait for the system to fall and you can upscale it. Instead, you would require to plan it much ahead, no procure all these resources required, and you can upscale it. In such cases, forecasting can really help you to understand how your current capacity is being utilized and how it can go in the future, so that you can plan your capacity as well. So in such case, forecasting is mainly useful in planning your capacities, predicting your workload, like how it is being utilized, what are all the peaks of the resources that is being used, and it can help you plan your distribution of resources. Like there might be underutilized resources as well, there will be overutilized resources. So you can share the load, distribute the resources, and so many things. And majorly comes to SLA adherence. Like as you're discussing with prediction, forecasting also helps you to adhere to your SLA, so that you don't have to end up, compromising your quality of the service. Now coming to the new feature, another feature of the AIOps called as seasonal events or noise compression. So seasonal events are nothing but those are like a pattern of events that our system has been learning from your past data. And in a traditional ITOps environment, these will be triggered as an alarm frequently. Like a better example for this could be like we now that IPL is happening, we can take an example of broadcaster who is actually broadcasting these IPL matches, and there might be a heads off between the big rivalry teams, and the viewership might go up anytime. So in such cases, these companies, like the as a broadcaster, my server utilizations, my application stat will go peak anytime it is. So whenever there's a match between these two teams, it will always go up, and it has been my trend for a long time. In such cases, the in a traditional ITOps system, or where the static threshold is being configured, a event will be generated every time this goes up. So, like if it is a match between two teams happening between 7 to 9 p.m., the utilization will be always on its peak. And it is an expected behavior of the system to be like that, because obviously it's a big match, lot of viewers, so does the utilization goes high. In such cases, I can't create a alert for the technician to fix this, because it is an expected event. In such cases, these kind of alerts are like more like a false alert, and they don't require any active resolution on that. In that case, these alerts are termed as noises. So this is what we called a noise in these events, and our AI system is able to cleverly identify these noises, and it is able to suppress them before converting them into an event or an incident or an even alert. So that is what our noise compression feature is capable of. So it will be studying your past patterns, like how your server has been behaving for the past time scales, and it will study these patterns. Like for the given time scale, this much percentage of time it has been always high. In such cases, it is a expected behavioral server to be overutilized. In such cases, it doesn't require any active resolution, because that is how it is supposed to behave. So in such cases, these seasonal event suppression or noise compression will be very useful in reducing such false positive alerts. Gives time for your engineers to work on the critical issues rather than these kind of false positive things. Now moving back to the next feature. So event association. So event association, as the term, like it's very self-explanatory. So we are going to associate related events, but that is what correlation does, right? We already have a correlation defined even in traditional ITOps, where you can relate a event occurring together. But event association more about learned correlations. So these are all the correlations that you manually configure in the system. These are all learned by the system by itself. So, for example, we can take, let's say you are having a application service that is being hosted, and like whenever the CPU utilization goes high, or the memory utilization goes high, or whenever there is a disk usage in the DB is getting high, the application might slow down. So this correlation you might not have configured in your ITOps system, or you might not configure it by manually, but our system is able to study it, learn it, and it is able to identifying the correlation between an application and these related components. In such cases, event association is capable of detecting all these correlations, and it is able to create a correlation by itself and monitor it for the future timescales. In such cases, event association will be majorly useful in identifying correlations that you would have missed, or it would have been able to identify by itself. Secondly, event association will help you find these related dependent events or impacted entities that are part of this event. So let's say, for example, I have even we can take the example of this application itself. Like if one of my CPU goes down, my application would become slow, or if it is a not so distributed, the entire application might stop. So in that case, there won't be just only one event for the CPU utilization. If the CPU stops, application stops, and so does the other dependent entities as well as stops. So you as an engineer, you might not have the full picture of all these dependent entities, or you might not be able to figure out all these things. So it would end up like you resolving 4 to 5 events all at once. So instead, this association event is capable of finding all these related entities and mapping them together, and it will give you a unified data. So it is not the one event that you are solving. It will be the 4 or 5 different entities that you will be resolving at the given time, or it might happen in the future as well. So our system is able to identify these kind of dependent entities, and it will give you a unified picture. So your technician can resolve this, so that it will be, it reduces your MTTR as well. So you'll not be resolving one event, but you'll be having a full picture of the entire scope of the event that is it gonna cause. So this is what our event association feature is about, and we do have cool widgets for these things. Like it is showing how these are being configured and how it is being clustered together. And coming to the next feature is business service. So business service is like the service level representation of our system. Like now in an ITF system, we'll be all having components, servers. So let's say servers, components, CPU, memory. These are all like very component level. But when it comes to business service, it's like more of a service level representation of what you'll be doing. For example, let's take Infront application as a business service. We have plotted a business service representation for our application. Like we have our back end running and front end running, and these are all the components that we'll be using. So this kind of representation will be mostly useful in identifying the service level impacts of all these things. So imagine we'll be hosting all these things up, and we can't tell one of your server at so and so IP has gone down. It is not the server that is going down; it's the service that is going down. In such cases, the impact on a service level is very huge, and it might impact your business as well. So in such cases, these business service representation will be helpful to understand the impact of the underlying component on a service level. And this is how you'll be configuring it. And these are all the widgets that will be showing for the business summary. Now, these are all the major features that are part of the ITOps in the ITOps range, like AIOps feature for ITOps. We do have certain features for ITSM. Now, before talking about AIOps feature and ITSM, let's take a scenario. Like there is this company, insurance company that provides like lot of services like health insurance, term insurance, and a lot of other insurance. And particularly with the health insurance, they provide some 10 to 20 services. It can be claiming the insurance amount. It can be booking an appointment. It can be like finding a best in quality services. So these are all the part of services they provide. And usually these kind of companies will be getting incidents and requests for such services. Like they will be having a request for claims. They will be having request for the other issues. So in such cases, they will be getting a lot of incidents, and you as a technician have to sit and manually configure all these things, and you might end up replying to them. So in such cases, a normal ITSM application is capable of only creating incidents for such things, and it cannot do anything intelligently. So in such cases, we have a lot of GenAI features as part of our AIOps platform, which will help you do all these things. Now coming to the feature ticket forecasting. So ticket forecasting is very similar to what we did with the ITOps. Like it will forecast your ticket incident counts so that you can be, plan your service engineers or can plan your capacity to handle this such increasing request or decreasing request. So this will be mainly helpful in planning your teams and other things. Now, coming back to the GenAI features, so we have email content enhancer and ticket auto classification, workspace bot, or auto ticket to KB articles. So we'll be seeing these features in detail, and we'll be seeing how they will be helping in real time. So first coming to the email content enhancer. So when you are dependent on a technician to handle a ticket, you can't make sure like how the communication is being happening. Like there might be a lot of instances where the grammar wouldn't have been correct. There are a lot of instances the context wouldn't have been correct. There are a lot of instances the tone of the text wouldn't have been like as much as is expected. So in such cases, this email content enhancer will help you to, keep the standard of the communication in a much respectful and much toned way. Like this infinity test enhancer. Thank you. So this infinity text enhancer can help your technician to handle this communication in a much formal way and in a much clear way. Like email content enhancer uses our AI platform to rephrase and convert the tones, and it will help you to keep the communication much smoother. Coming to the next feature, it has ticket auto classification as well. So yeah, this actually aligns much with the previous use case that we have been talking. like an insurance company has a lot of services to handle, and it will be receiving a lot of insurance in a day-to-day scenario. In such cases, an engineer has to manually read all this description and should understand what the ticket is about, and he should classify the services, and then the actual workflow starts. This is more of a time consuming job, and when you have a large volume of tickets coming in, this might seem like a very time consuming as well. So in such cases, our AI platform is capable of classifying these services based on the ticket content. Like, let's take the screenshot is all about configuring such thing. Like, we are setting a contextual description for each of the services. Like, if it is about claim, we are setting a context. Like, this would be the context of email where it is a incident for a claim. So in such cases, our platform is able to read the context, understand what it is, and it will be classifying the ticket based on the context. So if it is a ticket that is for a claim, it will be automatically classified into a team that is handling the claims. So in such cases, you are much ahead of your workflow, and your workflow starts as soon as the incident is getting created, rather than you requiring a L1 engineer to sit and read the description and then map it manually. So that's the feature that is all about ticket auto classification. And then we have one more feature called as workspace bot. So these are like chatbots, unlike your normal chatbot, which is more generic, which is more, not as domain centric as it need to be. Our workspace bots are capable of having much of a more like context centric knowledge. Like, you could imagine, like, let's say we as a company will be having our employees filing their taxes as well. So in such cases, we can create a comprehensive document, and we can load it to one of these bots, and these bots will be able to read the context, understand what it's about, and once the user clicks on a chat and he asks some question, this bot will be able to understand what the question is, can pull up the relevant information, and can give out the information. This is not just restricted to any kind of a tax related thing. It can be your HR document policies, it can be your leave policies, it can be your IT assistance, it can be your IT admin norms and compliances. So it can be anything as part of your company or part of your domain. So these kind of bots are mostly helpful in self-serving rather than being dependent on a person or dependent on a service. So this mostly helps in the self-service part. Now coming to the next one, ticket to KB. So like, it is a common practice for companies to have a KB where they have information regarding the resolved issues or known issues or something like that. In such cases, this KB is either manually maintained, or it is not updated time to time because it is being manually done. So in such cases, using our GenAI feature, we can convert ticket resolution into a KB automatically. So, like, what are all the communication that are part of the incident are being taken? We understand the context. We understand how the resolution has been made, and our AIOps platform is able to summarize all this into a KB, and we can create a KB as well. So this will be mainly useful for the technician to solve issues when the similar issue comes, or even he can send the KB as the first level of resolution as well. So these are all the GenAI features with respect to ITSM, and we have a lot of features that are planned and which are actually currently in R&D and we'll be expecting soon. Like, or one of the AI powered self service portal. So currently, self service is all about raising incidents and getting resolved by itself, or waiting for technician to be resolved. Rather, once we have our AI powered self service portal, most of the user queries can be handled by our AIOps platform itself. Like, the first level of response will be from our AIOps platform, and it has a lot of learned knowledges which can be given out as first level of information. Then it can be moved to a different levels of engineers as well. So another feature is about auto remediation. So auto remediation is what I will tell the next level of AI with the IT ops. So AI will become an advisory. So it will tell you how it can be fixed, or if it is a small fix or it doesn't require a human intervention, the fix can be rolled out by itself. So auto remediation in IT ops, I would say it's like reducing a lot of workloads on your engineers, because most of the times the issues would have been like recurring or would have been already known, and the fixes it can be handled by the AI itself. So in such cases, auto remediation plays a major role. It knows what to do. All it has to do is go to the particular thing and give the fix, and your system is done. So that's when this auto remediation feature is very useful. And even deduplication, we talked about a lot of sources where we take information, and there might be a scenario where we'll be taking these information from different places, and they might end up as a lot of junk data. So even deduplication will help you to detect such duplicates, and will clean these duplicates, and it will help you to consolidate, have a unified data with you. So that's even deduplication. And with respect to auto KB creation, we have already seen how our incidents are converted to KB. Moving on, it will be done in a more automated way, in a more intelligent way. Instead of dumping of KBs, we will be enriching the existing KBs. We will not be creating any KBs more and more. Instead, we'll be finding a related KB and we'll be enriching the data. In such cases, we don't end up dumping a lot of KB in our system, which are like lying around somewhere. So in such cases, our AI platform is able to find a similar KB or something that is contextually similar. We'll take up the KB and we'll enrich the information based on the updated resolution. And another feature is incident triage. So incident triage, we can term it as how your incident being handled in different levels. So once a customer raises an incident, it goes to a person at the least level, and it keeps on increasing hierarchy as the issues getting escalated, as issues getting resolved. So that's what called as triaging. And what we at Infront are trying to do is we are trying to automate this process, as first level of information will be always given by our one of our AI bots. So these bots are capable of giving like first level of communication. Like it can be a first level of remedial step, or it kind of a troubleshooting step, or it kind of an input that is expected to the customer. So instead of relying on an engineer to give this information, we have a bot that has learned all these things and is capable of giving the first level of information. So it is able to give out the first level of information. It is able to prioritize the incidents based on the severity. So like these are the things that usually now currently manually done. Like a person has to study the description to understand the severity. Then they will be classifying them as a priority or least priority, or it is like not so critical. So these can be done, and these can be automated by AI, and that is what we are trying to do with our Infront AI's platform. We are trying to automate this ticket prioritization as well, and we have seen service classification. Moving on, it will be done in a much more automated and smart way. And we have our incident SLA breach prediction as well. Like it is like studying of your SLA pattern, and when it is gonna breach, and how you can improve the process of resolving, more like doing a risk assessment and coming up with preventive measures to improve your SLA scores. And event correlation, we have been talking about associated event and how it helps in correlating events. So one such thing is finding the root cause. So any engineer, if you take, the biggest part of solving an event is finding its root cause, or what is the thing that is causing this event. So in such cases, with our more domain-centric AIOps platform, more it understands the technicalities, it understands the network, it understands how your networks work, where it can be everything. This root cause finding will be more easier for the engineer. So when an incident happens, our AIOps platform will be capable of finding where it could have been happened, and it can suggest you the steps to find this thing, or how to resolve these things, or what are all the other entities that would have impacted based on, like, depending on these events. So these things can be done based on the AIOps engine by itself. So you don't need any manual intervention to do these things, because our platform has learned all of your network patterns, and it knows when it goes down what are all the different entities it has. So next is auto resolution from KB match. So this is again what we discussed previously. Like based on the known knowledge, our tickets can be automatically resolved by the AIOS platform itself. So it will, once the incident is created, it goes find the related KB. It will find the related information, and it will start implementing the resolution. So this is more about the AIOS platform, and let's see what are all the benefits it could bring in. So it brings in operational scalability, it brings contextual alarms into picture, it brings much faster incident response, It can help you maintain your SLAs. It can help you maintain your quality of service. It can maintain your infrastructure uptime. And with our more intelligent platform, we can reduce the time it takes to find the root cause or investigate the issue or analyze the issue or things like that. So now, how to get started with AIOps? As we are talking all these things, it might look so overwhelming, or it might look like it seems so much of a work to do all these things. But actually, the process of you transforming from a traditional ITOps organization to an AIOps organization, it does take one configuration in our platform to make you smart, make you intelligent, make your system intelligent, reduce your effort, reduce your time invested on root cause analysis and everything with our new intelligent infra AIOps platform. So it all starts with you contacting our salesperson or booking a demo from our platform, and you can see our AIOps platform in action. And that's pretty much about AIOps. I hope I covered all these things. And if you have any doubts, you're free to ask at this time.
Thank you so much, Annamalai. That was so insightful. I really hope you all gain a lot of insights from this. So we'll be moving to Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can drop in the chat box and we will take them now.
So here we have a question like, is this a solution available on-prem? Yeah, Khalil, actually, we have this solution available for on-prem as well. And our platform is more like our AI platform is more like horizontally scaled. So we can actually not compromise on this performance and everything. So it is actually very much available for on-prem, and you can contact your team regarding this demo so that you can see this all these features in action, and we can actually go with the features. Moving to the question of Philip, how long can you keep logs? Like, I'm pretty not clear about this question. Like, what kind of logs are you terming? Can you be very much clear? And yeah, as you told, like nowadays every company is using this tool for the operation. And so if you ask me how do we integrate this, uh, we actually have a pretty much cool NMS tool with our infront as well, which does all of this monitoring. This AIOps is like a plugin for your existing NMS tool. It doesn't require much of an integration kind of thing. It's just one configuration in our platform, and your traditional ITOps platform will be converted into more an AIOps based platform.
We have one more question. It's an anonymous question. So he's asking if we have agent compatibility with Linux and Mac. Annamalai, you can answer this.
So yeah, actually, more like our monitoring tool is majorly agentless. So we have a tool which is like a data collector, which is more of a agentless discovery, and we do have inventory agents that are very much compatible with major OSs like Windows and all of the Linux distros and Mac OS as well. So you can discover your Mac devices using our agent platform. And uh,
I think Vijay also has a question, which he's asking about integration. Nowadays, every company is using the tools for their operation. So how can we integrate with this one?
So yeah, as I was mentioning, this is like an add-on to our existing NMS platform. Integration won't be a big issue. Like as I was telling, it's just a very minor configuration that you have to do with your NMS platform that can actually be converted into an AIOps platform.
If you have any more questions, you can drop in the chat box. We'll wait for a few more minutes. Meanwhile, I'll be sending you a demo link if any of you interested in looking at the product in action, so you can sign up for it. Our team will be more than happy to walk you through with our AIOps platform. So yeah, I have sent a demo link. If you have any questions or if you want to see the product in action, you can register through that link, and someone from our team will reach out to you and they will set up a demo for you as per your requirements, so you can discuss it with them. So yeah, we'll wait for a few more minutes. If anybody has any questions or anything, you can let us know. We have one more question. What are the compliancy rules with European countries? Theory, I guess you can book a demo. So someone from our sales team will answer that question. So post this, we'll be sending you all the recording link or any PPTs that we have used for this session. So you can refer to that. You can reply to that email if you have any more questions, and we'll be happy to answer all those questions. Yes, Vijay. The pricing part will be discussed with by the sales team. So if you have any more questions regarding the pricing or any other questions regarding product, you can please book a demo with us. Or when we send out the recording link, you can also reply to that email if you have any more questions, and we'll be very much happy to answer all your questions.
So coming to question asked by Khalil. So as I was mentioning at the beginning of the webinar, like different business has different requirements. Some businesses will be more invested on getting these adaptive thresholds and prediction rather than the capacity planning, because they can handle such capacity related expenses and they do not want to plan much ahead of it. But according to them, these kind of issues are very critical. So in such cases, you can opt whichever module you wanted as a part of your subscription. Like you can opt out for say forecasting if you wanted to, but primarily all these things are like more of an AIOps feature, and it would be really helpful if you have all these modules with you. And if you're so picky on these features, yeah, we do have the option for you to choose whichever module you wanted as part of your subscription as well.
So yeah, I think we don't have any more questions. Thank you guys. Thanks for making it so engaging with all your questions and everything. We also have reached the end of the time for this session. We'll wait for one more minute. If you have any more questions, please drop them. Uh, Even though if you are not able to ask now, you can book a demo with us. The link I have shared already. I'll be sending it again. You can book a demo with us. We'll be also sending the recording and the PPT shortly after this session. So if you have any questions or anything, any help needed, you can reply to that email and we'll be happy to help you with that. Let me know if you have any more questions. So yeah, feels like we don't have any more questions. We'll be ending the session now. Thank you so much again for joining.
So thank you all for joining. I hope you guys got an insights about our Infron AIOps with our platform to get more real-time insights and more see the futures in action. So thank you for joining, and yeah, have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.